So we've been built on we are a country of numbers, man. It doesn't matter if you're talking about the government. The government works a little bit the same way what I'm about to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the government, believe it or not. We're going to talk about you know, working, what you do for a living. You need to work for you, and here's why. Here's the main reason why, above all but other things, above the money, the extra money you make, above whatever the freedom you get from working for yourself. When you work for a company, you're just a number. That's it. You're a number. They don't care two shits about you. They'll demand that you work mandatory overtime. They come in on that overtime and fire your ass for a mistake you made or for whatever reason they choose. They don't give a shit about your family, your bills, none of that shit. To go further than that, if you get hurt on the job while you're doing your job because of somebody else's fuck up, they'll throw you to the wind, man. So I hurt my knees I hurt my right knee in 2019. I went back to work 4 months later. I was there 6 weeks and hurt my left knee. I had to have surgery on both of them. I hurt them so bad. I'm not the bitchy and whiny type. And I want to say what I just said to this doctor. In 2016, I broke my pelvis. My femur went out the back of my pelvis and then was pulled out the front of my pelvis. So I broke the front and back. They cut me open, flayed me open like a fish, and put plates. I got 5 plates in the front, 7 in the back, I think. I think that's what it was. And I think there's like 19 screws and pins in it, holding it all together. I may not be 19. There's a bunch of them, though. So it might be 17. So I left, when I had that surgery, I'm not, like, pain, when it comes to pain on the threshold, my pain tolerance is way higher than what other people says. You know how I know that? Because shit that doesn't bother me bothers them. Shit they cry about, I don't say a word about. But I left the hospital after my 3 hours after I had the surgery. About 3 hours later, I was in the car. I was in the car on the way home, and we're sitting on the couch with no pain meds. I left the hospital against medical advice, no pain meds, and I ate all that pain, and trust me, it sucked, and I was in a shit ton of pain, and I did bitch about it, but I did it, without pain meds. So I go to a Workmans Comp fights you the whole gamut, man. Like, they argue so that was in 2019. All right, so it rolls around, recently, a year ago or so, I hurt both my knees just got hurt again. How did they get hurt? I didn't do nothing to hurt them. It wasn't like the first time where something happened and bam, they're hurt. They just from life, man, life. I think I was climbing a ladder or something when one of them messed up, and the other one I was just walking. But so they do these things what they call permanent disability percentages. Like, I don't even know what it really means, because, like, it's, you would think, like, they decided, well, you're 10% disabled based on what we see. Then, like, that would equate to a monetary thing somehow, since you did it at work and you pay that insurance. It's something, or they pay that insurance. So, to me, that's what makes sense. But they also don't take into account a lot of other shit. They don't take into account, they want to know what you do for a living. What do you do? Construction. But they don't know what that really means. Just like I just explained to that doctor. I'm like, you think just construction, all you're building walls and shit. I said, once you get down on your knees and put 15 receptacles in the wall in a row. Do that. And tell me how bad your knees hurt. And then consider the fact that my knees are hurt and how bad that they would actually hurt. And then they don't consider other things. So, like, when you see these fuckers, in my case, they don't take nothing else into consideration, only what you're there for. Well, normally, like, if you hurt something else can make up for it. You break your right hand, your left hand can grab everything. Or, there's like what's it called? When something makes up for something else. I don't know. There's like an evening effect, right? I guess is what it is. Well, in my case, both of my knees are hurt again. I hurt them both before, and I was fine, and then they're hurt again. And now that they've been hurt, they'll continue to get hurt. And then, since I'm my age, since I am the age I am. So I'm at a really weird age where I shouldn't be having these knee problems. But I'm at the age where my body's not going to heal itself like if I was 20. So I want to keep having these knee problems. You know, for the last year, I've needed surgery on my knees, and I've just lived with it, just dealt with it. Do they take that into consideration? I don't give a fuck. I don't give two fucks. You know, when I got to take a day off work because when we go to Ohio, we run straight to Ohio, straight back, and the next day I don't go to work. Why? Mainly because my knees hurt so damn bad. I'm tired too, but my knees hurt so damn bad from sitting in a car. Now that sounds funny. You're sitting in a car. Why is your knees hurt? You're on your ass. It's just the way that you have to sit in a car. You know, the way cars are made. The way I'm made. I can't stretch out even with the seat all the way back. My legs won't go all the way out. You know, so I can say, well, get a bigger car. Well, maybe if I made more fucking money, Workmans Comp, give me more money, maybe I can buy a bigger car. But they don't give a fuck about you. If you're going to be thrown to the wind when some bad shit happens to you, then you need to work for you. You need to get all the money. If they're paying you $25 an hour, you can bet your ass they're making $150 an hour off of you. You can guarantee that. $100 an hour, whatever that number is. But it's not $20, it's not $30 an hour. It's not like, oh, they're just making 30, they're giving you that. And I'm not saying that I'm anti, two people making a mutual transaction, one to work for the other. I'm not. I'm 100% for that. What I'm against, though, is that person throwing you to the wind, and then not only throwing you to the wind, but the insurance company that throwing you to the wind. And I get Workmans Comp's insurance, it's insurance, and in Ohio it is anyway. And their job's not to pay people. And then they ask you all kinds of questions. They ask you about your sex life, all kinds of shit, man. All kinds of shit. And I'm like, well, if you can't take into consideration the other injuries I have because of the same fucking company, due to shit that I hurt myself. Neither one of them was my fault. When I say that, it's shit that should not. So one of them was another employee did something. They put a skid in a walkway, and with what we were doing, it was you're carrying these big pieces of metal, and you think you would carry them sideways, but you can't. Just because they're heavy, you'd have to scoot sideways. But they're wide enough to where you can't see where you're going, but you know where you're going because it's a straight walkway. So they had us doing this shit, and somebody sticks a skid in the fucking way, and I step on it, and I screw my knee up. The second time, I had a piece of sheet metal, so a big 4x8 sheet, and I punched it out, like 11 gauge or something. I'm carrying the scrap to the scrap bin, and there was an electrical outlet on the outside of an I-beam. I'm not supposed to be on the outside of the I-beam. I'm supposed to be on the inside of the I-beam. The scrap caught it, and when I took that next step, whatever happened, and it, instantly, I felt it. I was like, fuck. I just fucked my knee up. And you can't do nothing about it. You're just fucked. But that's why, I know that I'm a small minority that I got hurt. I got hurt twice doing a job. Never had any knee problems before that. Constant knee problems since then. We're 4 or 5 years into this now. 5 years. Happened in 2019. So yeah, we're 5 years into this now. And it's been, I had about 2 really good years. And then just since then, it's been deterioration until, like I said last year, the doctor's like, well, we can do surgery on them, but here's the deal. You're going to hurt. Every time we do surgery, we take more of that cushioning material out, and which means in the long run, when it gets hurt, you're going to have more pain and more arthritis and all that other shit. I don't know. It's frustrating. But anyway, come up with an ideal, man. Work for yourself. I understand work for other people. Hell, I might even be able to get ready. I might be going to work for somebody else soon. But if you can't work for yourself, work for yourself.